Karen sisters demanded my window seat on the plane, then chaos erupted and fines followed fast. Ever been told to give up your legally purchased seat on a flight because someone else deserves it more? Yeah, that happened to me. And it didn't just end with a little argument. It ended with chaos, police, and fines that followed like turbulence after takeoff. I was flying home from conference in San Diego. Booked my ticket early, paid extra for the window seat. I don't do well in cramped rows, and the view calms my nerves. I'd even triple-check my boarding pass. 23, economy comfort, window. Everything seemed smooth. That was until the Karen sisters boarded. You could hear them before you saw them. Loud voices, overpacked purses, a scent trail of cheap perfume and entitlement. Both women mid-50s, heavy-set, faces locked in that constant squint of suspicion came down the aisle like royalty inspecting the peasants. Then one of them stopped in front of my row. "That's our seat," said the one in leopard print leggings, already reaching for the overhead bin. I looked up, earbuds still in. "Excuse me?" The other one wearing a rhinestone-covered t-shirt that read, "Yes." I said it snorted. "You're in 23, eh? That's the seat we reserved. Window in middle." I pulled out my boarding pass. Showed it. "This says 23, eh?" I said, holding it level. "Window seat. That's mine." Leopard Karen rolled her eyes. "You probably booked basic economy and got reassigned." "Nope," I replied. "Paid for this one. Extra." They stood there like I'd insulted their ancestry. Then the other one tried again. "Wouldn't it just be nicer if you gave it up? I get claustrophobic in the middle." I stared at her. Not my problem. Not my fault. Not my seat to give away. That's when she leaned in, whispering, "You people are always so difficult." "You people?" I asked, loud enough for the nearby rows to hear. Passengers started turning. A flight attendant appeared, summoned by the rising volume. Calm, professional. "Ladies, can I help you?" The Karen sisters jumped in. "He stole our seat. We need the window." He was rude. Threatened us. I didn't move. I looked at the flight attendant and said, calmly, "This is my boarding pass. 23. They want me to move so they can sit together." She checked it, nodded. "You're absolutely in the right place." Then came the first twist. The Karens started shouting about medical accommodations. One claimed she had vertigo and needed the window to stabilize. The other clutched her chest and said she was being emotionally harassed. The flight crew didn't buy it, but the commotion was holding up boarding. So the captain was called. Yes, the actual captain came out of the cockpit to deal with them. And the second twist? Turned out the captain had already flagged them from a prior flight weeks ago, where they berated another passenger for smelling like curry and delayed a flight by 40 minutes. This was strike two. The captain gave them a choice. Sit in your assigned seats and calm down or be removed before we close the doors. They didn't sit. So, they were removed. They didn't walk out quietly. Oh no. As the flight attendant retrieved their carry-ons, both Karen sisters erupted in full dramatic glory arms flailing, voices rising above the engine hum. One shouted about discrimination. The other swore she'd sue the airline and have someone's job by morning. Meanwhile, the rest of the cabin clapped. Literally, clapped. A guy in 24B leaned over and whispered, "That's the first time I've ever seen an actual in-flight upgrade without changing seats." The captain, cool as stone, radioed for ground security. Within minutes, 2 airport police officers appeared at the boarding gate, waiting with crossed arms. The sisters were escorted off the plane in front of a gallery of cell phone cameras and thoroughly unamused gate agents. And here's where it got really satisfying. Twist number 1. Because of their outburst and refusal to comply, the airline slapped them each with a $1,500 civil fine for delaying the flight and violating FAA interference regulations. Twist number 2. I later learned, thanks to a friend who works in airline risk management, that this was their 3rd strike in less than a year. Their names have been flagged in a shared database used across several major airlines. They were officially banned from flying with that carrier for 5 years. No upgrades, no vouchers, no Karen-branded redemption arc. Just ground travel. For a long, long time. As for me, the plane departed 15 minutes late, but peaceful. I looked out the window and watched the tarmac fade behind us. No more drama. No more yelling. Just the hum of flight and the quiet satisfaction that I hadn't moved an inch. By the time we landed, the video had already gone viral. Someone titled it, "Karen's Demand Window Seat," and up on no-fly list instead. Last I checked, it had 3.1 million views and counting. And the best comment? They reached for the window and got hit with the door. I couldn't have said it better. While I got home, I printed my boarding pass from that flight, framed it, and hung it next to my luggage shelf. Just a little reminder. So now I ask you, was I wrong to stand my ground in a narrow airplane row, or did they finally get a little turbulence they couldn't talk their way out of? The end.